that article is so helpful because that article has tons of visuals. So
Love
actually,
that.
you don't have to read it. You can look at these like art.
Yeah, love it. They made it into a little cartoon for all of us people that just
Yes.
like to go quickly. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, again, why that Feeding Matters website is so nice because it takes throughout the website, like on the what are PFD and RFID slides, not slides, page.
Yeah.
They have those those
Love that.
infographics, and that's the whole point. Like a parent shouldn't have to go learn how to do how to do research. It should be that simple for them to understand, and Feeding Matters does a great job simplifying it, even down to
Love that.
I was trying to see if I had the graphic nearby me to pull up, but
That would have been
even
cool. You just like immediately
I
like
know I'm
me.
like
Yeah.
even down, like I'm gonna look at it. Even down to where, like those domains I talked about, like
Yes.
medical,
Support.
nutritional, feeding skills, and psychosocial, they have a infographic that then has the disciplines married into that to reach out to.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these articles are great, not only because of, it's
No, that's
research that we all
incredible. That's
do.
incredible resource for families who
Yes.
are trying to figure out where to start. And that's something
Mhm.
actually, we talked about, I forget what episode, but talking about how oftentimes the sciences that are designed to serve people are the least accessible to the people that they serve.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's highly problematic. So
Yeah.
I think that is incredible that there are
Mhm.
resources for families that are listening to go to and check out
Yep.
and feel empowered to have a foundation to go to their providers to ask questions and feel like they know what they're asking. Because I feel like that can be the most daunting part is I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what to ask you,
A
you
100%.
know?
Well, and like if the pediatricians don't know it, actually, a quick plug. Again, I'll do 1,000 plugs for Feeding Matters, but
Yeah.
Feeding Matters also it's called the Power of Two. It's a program offered to families. So like, and it's on their website again. I want to call its name out though, because again, that website is massive.
Mhm.
So it'll say like how to get involved or resources. I think it's under the resource tab. But the Power of Two program is other families. Some of them are clinicians that also have family members with PFD or ARVID, but there are other families that connect with new families. So families who have gone through this journey and can share their ups and downs and just connect and like make you feel like you're not the only one or you're
Oh
not,
my gosh, that's
losing your mind. And
incredible.
and then they'll connect with you and they'll say, "Hey, do you want like a day moment? Do you want us to check in 3 months and 6 months?" And they'll kind of talk to you through that and share where their frustrations were. And they also have, along with the studies that I'll share, they also have like rack cards that you can give your pediatrician. Like, hey, I'm
That's
not kind of,
so cool.
yeah, yeah.
Oh
So
my
like you don't
gosh.
have to be defensive, like, right? Like the first thing we go in and we're worried about our kids and our kids, it's
Yeah.
like sometimes it is life and death, right? And so we go in there and our pediatricians just say, oh, we'll wait and we'll see. They're not too bad yet. We're always waiting for the yet, and
For
parents are
sure.
terrified, right?
Absolutely. Well,
So,
and I think you're hitting on something that we've talked about with community, like the
yeah,
power of community. When you have
yeah,
people to lean on who understand your experience, who can support you through it. In previous episode, we talked about Facebook, like the power of Facebook.
yeah,
I mean, figure out where you have your resources and
yes.
knowing the power of two, that exists. And that's something that, because
Hmm.
feeding is so daunting. And so having people that have been like, here, let me do this with you.
Yeah,
Here's what you need to hear from this conversation, or here's what this meant.
yeah,
Having someone disseminate in a parent friendly way,
yeah.
I think
And
is
they
powerful.
also have, yeah, very powerful. And there's something I wish, like sometimes too, like kind of you said, like where to start. I might be the comforting person on the team, but I have to acknowledge that I'm a BCBA, so I'm looking through that lens. And sometimes I might be missing some medical symptom that it's just not in my repertoire. And
Right?
so I also love pointing parents in that direction because um, it's just like autism. No journey is your journey. It's all different. It's all the same, but there are parallels, and it helps you feel empowered to advocate for yourself. Should parents have to advocate? Should teens or adults have to advocate for their needs like that?
Yeah.
No, but it's I mean, these diagnoses are less than 10 years old. So again, none that training hasn't existed for most of the people that are in those
Right.
positions, right? So, and the pediatricians, it's not their fault either. They have like 15 minutes to do 1,000 assessments.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh,
so,
that's a whole other bag.
right,
How many
yeah,
people they're seeing the lack of individualized attention because they don't have the bandwidth to do
yes,
so.
yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's a whole that's an interesting one to dive into, isn't it? Um, but I do have a question for you. One of my last questions I really want to ask you is about Upbeat Eaters. I just want to kind of do like a little plug and talk about it a little bit. You know, where can listeners find out about Upbeat Eaters and your mission and you know, how can they get started and connected with you and your services? I feel like that you're serving such a special niche market that we so many families need people like you in their corners. So just would love if you could plug some about Upbeat Eaters.
Yeah, thank you. I know it's easy to advocate for everybody else, but putting the attention on yourself is sometimes a
Yeah,
little
she's
at the
amazing.
moment.
I'll start off with that. It's really impressive.
Um, no, I Upbeat Eaters came from, witnessing all, that 20-year journey of watching how other skills were prioritized, but a lot of the challenges that they were having in their day and those long days were centered around meal times, right? Like some we would teach different skills, and then all of a sudden we'd realize, well, now that was actually more about the fact that they had just milk and Slim Jims, and that just was hard on their guts because they were actually lactose intolerant. So there's all these
Oh
things we
gosh,
find out,
yeah.
like
Poor
why
buddy. Yeah.
right? So there's things um like a dietitian, of course, would be like, of course, duh, but that's
Yeah.
not our training. So us learning about that and me witnessing how just introducing water to some kiddos' diet had a massive effect on their future learning. Like just, like it
Mm.
seems so simple, like, oh, uh, show them how fun water can be. Like what? But that was a huge impact on that sweet kiddo. And then, so just looking at seeing all those intersections of behavior analysis with other uh, fields that were all wrapped up within mealtime was really interesting. And seeing how like naturalistic and developmental behavior interventions could really impact that, and like a constructional approach with shaping procedures. Just it was really neat seeing all that converge. And I think um, COVID was a big shift for everyone.
Opened a
And
lot of people's eyes to a lot of
yeah,
different things. And I think a lot of people ended up really evaluating their life and priorities too. So I think actually it worked, I think, in a beautiful way to inspire a lot of people to jump into careers of passion for them.
yes. Well, and things I didn't know could be accessible. So I think, I realized there were communities that were reaching out because they were at home more, right? And so people were asking, like, hey, I know you're a behavior analyst. Do you work on this? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, I have worked on that. We did a lot of research around mealtime behaviors and shaping food expansion in at Easter Seals too. And then even before that at Texas Star, there was a huge emphasis on, again, those NDBI interventions. And so we were working with family style meals, so they, at the time, things were a lot less regulated, so there
Right.
would be like a bowl of fruit and a bowl of goldfish, and we would be sharing all that at snack time.
Yeah.
So I got to see how that played out, and then how more individualized interventions could play out. And then that's kind of how Upbeat Eaters was born, out of some necessity and some history. And
Yeah.
then and I love it because I think Upbeat Eaters was my stomach churn to picky eaters. Like I didn't know I was fighting it until I got into the business name, and I was just like,
Yeah,
So
can't do it, can't do it.
I was
Yeah.
like, I can't do picky
Yeah.
eaters. It just hurts my feelings too much. So I think that's kind of where the name came from. Was, I want I'm not it's not my job to define nutrition, right? Like,
Right.
but it is my job to help you as a family define your goals, include your norm, not my norms or what I think. Sorry, I'm not tiptoeing. I'm trying not to open up a whole nother 2-hour segment about cultural lenses. So, but I
No,
think like
and that was one of my questions I actually have on here, and I was like, oh, but that okay, I think we need more time for that. So I think we'll touch on that another time. Yes.
that's like a whole nother chapter
Oh, I
I'm
bet.
working
Yeah.
on. But I think I just wanted harmony and to rebuild meal times to what success could look like for a family, right? And then have all those stress and the barriers and the fear, right? Like fear on
Yeah.
the kids' part, fear on the parents' part, when we're all acting in that angle because it's life or death. Like
It
we're
really
working
is.
with feeding tubes, we're working with um under 1% weight issues, like and you'll hear me hesitate to even saying weight issues because for a long time families wouldn't be hurt unless they were under like certain
Certain
weight thresholds.
thresholds. Yeah.
And that was like the only threshold that people were using to clarify like a pediatric feeding disorder. And so that's why I love that there is a psychosocial domain because if you are excluded from relationships with extended family members, from contexts and environments because of your challenges in mealtime, that's debilitating too. Like their families are already having to give up so much in their day to day with their routines and their other kiddos and their jobs.
Yeah.
Now cutting off more relationships is just frustrating. So I really wanted the practice to focus on identifying all those pieces and rebuilding as much as we could with I always try to say 1% effort, right? Like families
Yeah.
don't even have 1% to give sometimes. So what's small changes that can make a big impact for a family?
Love that.
So,
Well, I find your mission incredibly inspiring. And I think something that really stands out to me about the theme of Up Beet Eaters and your approach is finding the joy
yeah.
to, move forward through really challenging situations. And that's actually something I talk about a lot with my families is during really challenging moments, we're trying to find the joy,
Yeah.
make something that was, really challenging, something joyful as much as we possibly can. And like you said, we're considering cultural lenses, we're considering multiple disciplinary approaches. I think that that's this system and this company and this business you created is just, I think it's going to serve, and it probably already has so many people, but I hope even more people, get in contact with you because your mission is incredible and impactful. And I really hope that also this inspires any behavior analysts that are listening, if they are tuning in to, you know, follow their passions too. I mean,
Yes.
I think applied behavior analysis has so many avenues that we can take and collaborate with people and use our science in so many ways. And so it's cool. Like feeding is not even an area I would even think we could go,
Yeah.
Um, so I just think it's incredible. It's just so incredible. So I'm excited that, people get to hear a little bit of your story. And I'm just so beyond thankful that you took some time to just chat with me tonight because you're incredible. I understand why Aria is obsessed with you. I get it. I understand Aria. If you're listening, I get it.
You're so silly, are you?
You guys are so cool. I mean, such impressive people, amazing behavior analysts, and just inspiring. So thank you for sharing everything today.
Oh, thank you for giving this platform. I think it's so cool that clinicians listening can hear a different perspective and maybe find a little um confidence to think out like Arya says, to think outside the box because it really is like not necessarily out of the creativity box, but also out of our um to go share time and space with other disciplines and
Yeah.
sit in awkward intersections because that's where the most growth has come through my journey. And obviously a big shout out to all of the giants we stand on, right? Like the shoulders we stand on who got us here because
Yeah.
I really did have um amazing advisors who weren't afraid to study things that seemed off limits to behavior analysis, which I really appreciated. And that was so helpful. And it's really cool that you guys both are creating this platform for parents to hear how our discipline is evolving and how we're all trying to
We're better
ebb and
now. We're trying. We're trying.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And it's cool because I think uh So I'll just say, Dr. Ali, I was trying to see, I don't want to misquote her because she's amazing and I'm sometimes crude with my words, but she always reminded me that even though the discipline seems defined by certain strategies, or like you said, like, oh, like now we talk about ascent. 20 years ago, that was in our programs already. And those were mandatory concepts when she practiced, so it's like those, and like, um, trying not to say first names, and Dr. Rosales Ruiz, like Jesus would always say, this was you can't try doing the same thing some of us are told to do as younger clinicians with an elephant or a tiger, right? Like that'll sober you sometimes about a scent and having somebody come to your session willing to learn and excited to learn versus there just to kind of what's the word? Be compliant, right? Like all those compliant assent, like those were always very humbling moments to think like, okay,
Hmm.
what would I do in that moment? So I think it's really cool that you're giving that platform to have those discussions and just create the moment to listen. So
Yeah.
it's
Well,
really cool.
I hopefully, I mean, other people, yeah, can be inspired by learning from you and, some of the other guests we've had. There's just learning is like a lifelong process. So I'm so
Yes,
excited that I have amazing people in my life who I get to learn from and get to be connected with.
absolutely.
It's truly such a blessing, like full circle moments and the ripple effect of like you inspiring Aria, Aria inspiring me. And it's like it's this
Ah,
cool, like beautiful little ripple where we're all connected to each other.
yes.
So I'm really thankful for conversations like this. So thank you again for being here. And I'll do my little outro for all those
Okay.
listening. We're keeping it behavioral, guiding autism, fostering hope. We're here for you every other week. We try with a new episode. So please sure to follow us, get notified on any of our new posts. We are on YouTube. If you want to see, Rachel's beautiful face, I recommend it. It's so fun. If you want to see us at Keeping It Behavioral on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, we do have a website. It is sites.google.com/view/keeping it behavioral. General call out, we are behavior analysts. We are not giving individualized advice or treatment guidance. We are just creating a community of support and disseminating research. So thank you so much for your time today.
It
And
was
we
awesome.
will,
Thank you.
thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you guys.